Hey mates, and welcome to another episode of Blindformers. Today's video is part 2 of the ongoing Haslab LeoKiser series. I'm joined today by my co-host Cream the Cat. Who's a good Cream? Who's a good Cream? Don't you bite my nose. Don't you bite my nose. No. No. Don't you bite my nose. So, in the prior video, we talked about Kill Bison. We discussed Drill Horn. And we talked about Jaruga. Also, we discussed how the stands work that LeoKiser came with, and how all of LeoKiser's nunchaku things can fit inside of the stands. Last video we covered a lot. Today's video, continuing today's video, Cream, do you mind? Alright, continuing today's video, we are going to talk about the aerial bots, the aircraft of LeoKiser. So we have HellBat, we have GuyHawk, we have Death Cobra, and we have Leozack to talk about today. And I'm also going to be comparing them to their cohorts from the Constructicons, because the Constructicons are the only other 7-man team I can think of. And you may be asking, 7-man team? Yeah, because I include Hauler as a member of the Constructicons. So it makes it a 7-man team. He's the unofficial 7th member. So let's move away Leozack, and we'll move away GuyHawk, and we're going to put Death Cobra over here next to Cream, and we'll put HellBat over here next to Cream, or HellBat as they call him, and we'll talk about Death Cobra first. And first and foremost, I do want to bring in Hauler to discuss the differences between the two 7 members, because I think it's fun to compare and contrast the 7 members together. Now, Hauler is a Voyager class from Earthrise, and here we go, the comparison there. They're about the same length. Death Cobra's a little bit longer, but not by much. His tail fin is just slightly longer. Width-wise, they're about the same width. Let's flip them over here. Nuts. There we go. Now we compare them width-wise, they're about the same width. And weight-wise, they're actually about the same weight. So it goes to show you that Death Cobra here is a good example of a Voyager scale, especially since this is a Voyager from back in Earthrise. Now, there's something I want to point out real quick when it comes to Road Hauler here and Death Cobra. Now, Death Cobra's tail section for his helicopter mode is one solid piece of plastic going all the way back. And it has one hinge up here near where the propeller is at the front. And that is very annoying, in my opinion. We've had other Transformers who have had something like this, a long tail fin, but they've been able to collapse it in on itself or fold it in on itself. See, Hauler here, you can push on his long crane and it collapses in on itself. And that is something that I really wish they had done with Death Cobra. They just given us something that's just this cool, okay? It's really nice to be able to do. Anyway, that's a comparison of the two 7 members and their vehicle modes. I think that Death Cobra is an excellent example of a Voyager, maybe even a little bigger than modern-day Voyagers. So, without further ado, let's get into the transformation for Death Cobra. And before I do, I'll go ahead and give Death Cobra's vehicle mode a letter grade, and I'm going to give it a B+. It's a really good helicopter on the top, but this large rectangle of leg hanging out from the underside just, it messes it up a bit. I think that they kind of wish they had figured out a way to make this more a part of the fuselage of the helicopter, and then you would have these arms that fold down further and connect it down here where the knees are or the feet are for the legs, so that the nose cone could have been a bit longer too. I think it would have looked a little better had they done that, but they did keep it in scale, so I'm giving it a B. It's a decent helicopter, but I don't know what type of helicopter this is. If you happen to know the answer to that question, please let me know in the comments below. So, let's get to his transformation, and it isn't that difficult of a transformation. First step you want to do is you want to break the legs from the core of the robot. So you just want to pull on them really hard, and they'll disconnect. That connection is really sturdy. It's a very strong connection, and it can be a little difficult to get him out. So Then you want to take over here to the back end and pull the tail fin, or the tail thing, all the way up on its one single hinge. Then rotate the legs around here at the weirdest hip rotation ever, because that's an ab rotation if I've ever seen one before. And then gonna go ahead and lower the legs. There is a heel hidden in this leg, so you go ahead and pull that heel out, and then on this side there's a heel also, and you go ahead and pull that heel out. There we go. And then you can fold the feet up. Now for this side over here, there is a hand in there, and sometimes, I think for the first time you transform him, you're going to have to get the heel out from behind the hand. So you pull the hand up out of the leg, then you can reach in here and grab the heel and pull the heel out, and then you just fold that arm back into the leg compartment. It's very simple. Now we're going to grab his chest animal here, and after we... Nuts. Oh, good, it didn't fall off. So grab his chest animal, pull him out of the nose of the helicopter, and go ahead and pull up these blades so that they are detached from the back of the helicopter. You can go ahead and take the gun from the nose of the helicopter as well. That's a separate piece. He's the only one that comes with a gun. Daruga comes with missiles, but nobody else comes with a gun. Nobody else really comes with anything else other than Daruga and his missiles and Death Cobra and his little gun. I'm going to call it the Viper Launcher. Yeah. So we're going to move his arms up on their hinges. There we go. And pull out. His arms are the weird bulbous engines on either side of the helicopter. And then in the lower arms, go ahead and pull the hands out. I do wish there was a panel there to close to hide this big gappage, but oh well. Then fold his little wings that are on either side of the helicopter. They fold forwards across his chest. And I think I already put... No, I did not put his chest master back in there. Let's grab your little chest beast, snake chest. So, grabbing snake chest here and pulling that up. Okay, there it is. So, there is a peg at the top of the chest master, and that's going to fit into this peg hole that's right below his head. And... Oh, don't knock that off again. Come on. There it goes. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and lower this arm too, and lower his legs. The back of the helicopter's just kind of all sorts of folded up on his back. He does not look good on the rear because of that. But we can go ahead and give him his propeller blades. You can either put the propeller blades on the rear of the helicopter. You just part them. I like the fact that they collapse together. You can part them slightly and put them on either side of that tail fin if you want. Or you can use them as a weapon because they do fit into the port on the side of his hand. Now we can also give him his little weapon, his little gun. So I'm going to put his gun in the port on the side of his arm. There we have it. Look at that. That's all nicely done. There you are. Who's a good Death Cobra? You're a good Death Cobra. I hope you know ASL. I know. It's death, not deaf. But anyway, let's set Death Cobra over here off to the side, which is totally the most metal name out of the group. Him and Kill Bison. Like I can imagine him and Kill Bison being part of an 80s hair metal band together. Now let's move over here to HellBat and also GuyHawk. These two guys together are very similar in their transformations. And before we begin, I've got Bone Crusher and where is Scavenger? Here's Scavenger. Now Bone Crusher and Scavenger are both deluxes, but they're very hefty figures and they're very big figures when it comes to deluxe vehicles. They just don't have any caster wheels, sadly. Anyway, let's go ahead and showcase the comparison of Scavenger to HellBat. And on the underside, you see that Scavenger is the same width as HellBat minus the wings. But HellBat is a lot longer. HellBat also is heavier than Scavenger, but the difference between them weight-wise is that HellBat's weight is more evenly distributed across the entire figure, whereas Scavenger, not so much. Scavenger's just kind of a big square block of weight. Now, I do think it's fun to do this, which is, Scavenger versus HellBat. HellBat comes flying by, Scavenger raises up his little bucket arm and just grabs HellBat and flings him to the ground. Anyway, that's Scavenger and HellBat. Now, let's go ahead and I'll transform HellBat real quick. He's not that hard of a transformation to do. You just pull his arms up from either side of the vehicle mode by detaching them from the wings. Then the wings are going to just kind of fold up on his back. His nose cone is going to fall backwards across his back. Make sure that the landing gear is put away. Go ahead and, before we do much more, we're going to come around here to his back and we're going to split that tail fin in half. And then we're going to come around here to the front area. And where does it disconnect from? There it is. Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and pull the two legs apart. If we can, come on, pull apart legs. Nuts. All right, so we're going to have to do a little bit of wiggle. We got to wiggle him just a bit. He's got to get his wiggle on. And we dropped the HellBat chest plate off him, but oh well, I'll be okay. There's a part here that connects together very well, and just trying to get that to disconnect. Come on now. All right, guess we can pull the foot out. Yeah, right. If we pull the hand out from behind him, he'll actually disconnect his feet a bit better, and hopefully that gives us enough space to give him a good pull. There it goes. All right, now we're going to use the ab crunch to ab crunch his entire area forwards. And this is kind of most of the way to how he transforms into arm mode, but now we're going to split the legs apart, and one leg has a little trap door that you open, and then you open that trap door and you pull the entire leg assembly out from the lower leg. Then you're going to go ahead and close that door, and nothing's going to happen with the tail fin. It's going to be nicely folded up on the back. On the other side, we've got to kind of pull this entire leg assembly out. There we go. And now the entire leg assembly is going to go down, and that fist is going to fit inside of it, just like with Death Cobra. Okay, that's a very similar part, but this guy doesn't get heels like Death Cobra got heels. I don't know why, but, that's the case. So, go ahead and fold him back up at that ab crunch that he has. Come around here to his arms. Pull out one hand. Come around here to the other arm. Pull out the other hand. And make sure that the knees are in the right way. We don't have to do any rotation there. Then we can fold back the wings real quick and make sure everything's locked down and secure. Cool. Stand him up. I think he looks pretty neat. Go ahead and remove the nose cone and fold those wings back so he can have his nice look, because he does look spiffy, in my opinion. Now go ahead and make sure that nose cone is attached. There is a peg on top of the nose cone, on top of the cockpit, and that peg fits into the backpack area. So he's got a nose cone on his back, but he's got his wings off on either side, very similar to the Seekers. And I think he comes out to looking pretty good. He's got a nice head. We forgot to rotate it, so don't forget to rotate his head. And his head's actually got bat theme to it, and I think that's kind of neat. Like, he's got little bat wings on either side of his head. These guys' heads are very unique, and I should have been mentioning them earlier. Anyway, there are two ways you can display this guy now. You can either have the the air intakes for his vehicle mode sitting straight up and down, or you can fold them backwards if you want. If you fold them backwards, it gives his shoulders a bit more of a clean look. But there you have it. That is HellBat in robot mode. He's not too shabby. He's not too shabby at all. So, I forgot to tell you, but I'm going to consider HellBat's vehicle mode to be an A-class vehicle mode, where the vehicle mode for Death Cobra is really standing at the C+, B- category. This guy his vehicle mode is an A, without a doubt. Now, moving over here to GuyHawk. And I also have Bone Crusher. Now we're going to compare Bone Crusher to GuyHawk, and backing GuyHawk up all the way, Bone Crusher he comes all the way to the end of the air intakes for GuyHawk. Width-wise, Bone Crusher and GuyHawk are the same. And weight-wise, GuyHawk is heavier, but Bone Crusher kind of feels heavier because he's more condensed into a very thick rectangle. So, man, I'm getting the coughs. Cream, did you give me a cat hair? He probably did. I need to remember to start bringing in my water bottle. especially when Cream's my co-host. Anyway, so for GuyHawk, the transformation is going to be pretty simple, and I give GuyHawk here, he is my favorite vehicle mode out of the bunch. His vehicle mode gets an S ranking in my opinion, and I stand on that. I think the curves on the back end of this jet mode are exceptional. This guy is absolutely fun to mess around with, and he transforms into a MiG, which is a really fun little Russian jet, and it fought against the F-14 a lot, so I think it's fun that you get a MiG and an F-14 in the same group. So let's go ahead and break off these back areas. First and foremost, pull the hand out of the area. So the hand is folded over to close the two legs together and help stabilize them. So you just pull that hand out. Then what you want to do is try and fold these legs out and then get him to do the ab crunch thing. Go ahead and pull off his little beast mode guy. Oh crap, where's HellBat? I forgot about that. Where you at, HellBat? Here you are. I forgot to put HellBat's Bat Master back on. There we go. Yeah. There's Bat Chest or Bat Breast. Ozzy Osbourne like Bat Breast. Okay. Terrible joke. Well, let's move on to transforming him. Pull his wings up on either side and pull the arms out and go ahead and come in and rotate the hands out. Very similar to HellBat. Very, very similar. Go ahead and pull the... Man. Pull the nose cone of the vehicle out and rotate the head 180 degrees so that the face is facing forwards. Then you want to come down here and we got to split the legs, and now we're going to twist them just a bit so we can get in here. Come on, leg. Give me some space. All right. There we go. Got just enough space to do it. Pull the door open on the side and then grab your GuyHawk by the waist and pull out until the leg is fully displayed, and then kind of cinch it in there with your thumb and close that door. Now with the other one, we don't have to do anything with the door. We just kind of pull that entire leg assembly down and lock it into place and make sure that those feet are displayed properly. They are. He's not using the elbow for the robot mode at all. Make sure that the feet are folded down. Yeah, I already had them folded down correctly. Perfect. Now with his tail fins, you can fold them each backwards if you want, or you can fold one backwards and one forwards. It's all up to you. I like to put one facing forwards, the side tail fin, and then the actual tail fin that was on the top, I like to fold it kind of backwards across the rear. Gives him kind of a neat little space shoe look. I don't know. It's neat. It's something fun you can do with your toy. And I really like the fact that that is movable, and we can actually pose it around and get different things going on with that. But let's go ahead and bring him back up on his chest so that you can actually give him his chest armor. There it goes. All right. Now let's go ahead and give you your Hawk chest. Here he is. Mr. Hawk goes to GuyHawk. Hawk on the Hawk. Yeah. All right. Now GuyHawk here has a very angular head, and this one is very difficult to mess with when we're talking about transforming him into LeoKiser, and I'll discuss more on the troubles with GuyHawk when we discuss that thing. But for GuyHawk and HellBat, Bat's transformations, I'm going to give each of those transformations a... They're going to get an A because they accomplish the task. They're not that complicated, which is sad, but they are very intuitive, and you don't really need to work hard to figure it out, but it's also fun. There's nothing that's real troublesome except getting these legs to come down. That's it. And that's not too bad. It's just a little bit of wiggling and getting it all together. So both of their transformations are excellent in my opinion. They are simple though. So they're not getting the S, but they are really good transformations for what you get. And let's go ahead and fold his little air intakes backwards onto his little arms. There we go. Now he's got perfectly square shoulders. So go ahead and put him next to HellBat. And now time to talk about the last member of the team. Yes, we are talking about Leozack. And where is Hook? Come here, Hook. You've got to talk about Leozack with me. Are you Hook? Yeah, come here, Hook. Alright, so I've got Hook with me here. And Hook and Leozack are both the head holders. They are the heads of their perspective combiners. So Leozack is the head of LeoKiser, and Hook is the head of Devastator. So side to comparison, LeoKiser's definitely wider than Hook, but when it comes to like the interior workings of Leozack, him and Hook are actually about the same width. Weight-wise, I can't figure it out. I think Leozack and Hook are very similar in weight, but I think actually Hook may be the heavier figure here, which isn't too bad in my opinion, because the problem with one of the problems I've had with Devastator is that Hook is too heavy. He just weighs down the top center bit of Devastator, and that can cause him to lean forward a little bit. But this guy isn't as heavy, so that means that the most of the weight for LeoKiser is, in the waist going down to the legs. Those are the heavier figures, and the top section is the lighter figures. So I'm going to go ahead and put Hook off over here to the side, and let's talk about Leozack's transformation into, well, his robot mode. So first and foremost, we like to just handle the arms, so you can pull the arms, each of them forwards, and they unconnect themselves from his wings, and go ahead and fold the little hands out. There we go. There's not really much more you got to do with the arms for this transformation. I know, it's a bit sad. You kind of want more complicated stuff. Let's go ahead and pull the his chest master off. We're going to pull off chest line, and then pull the front panel of his chest open, and then we're going to take this nose cone for the vehicle mode, and we're going to pull that back, and that's actually going to pull back this center panel too. And that's going to allow us to make a decision. Do we want the Leozack head, or do we want the LeoKiser head? And for this, we want Leozack's little lion head with his little mane bits on either side. It's so adorable. Now we're going to go ahead and close those two panels back up because we made our decision. And then we have the head of Leozack all nicely neat. Come down here to his wings, and let's go ahead and fold each of his wings all the way up, and come down here to his legs and part his legs. Now, his legs don't take much transformation, and that is kind of a sad bit. You just kind of fold down this back panel, and you fold down this back panel, and there you have it. There's the transformation for the legs. Go ahead and take this bit on the side that is the connector for everything else, and just let that be on the side. I know. I wish it was somewhere else. Like if it had a little slide to allow it to spin to the back, that would be exceptionally awesome. But collapse the two wings together, or you can actually fold one wing forwards. If we can do that real quick, yeah. Can we actually fold one wing forward? No, we can't. No, we can't fold one all the way back? No, we can't. So just fold these guys together, and they're just going to hang out sticking backwards. And then we have this transformation joint that's down there at the bottom. Make sure that your legs are as far down as they will go, because I think they are. They don't really require much. And there you have it. There is Leozack. And then you can fold his wings down on either side, or you can kind of have them sticking out just a bit. It depends on the silhouette you want to give this guy. But that's it for his transformation. His transformation's very simple, and it's not as enjoyable as the transformations for HellBat or GuyHawk. Like HellBat and GuyHawk's transformations are a bit more fun, but the most fun out of all of them that I had with transformation, and the most complicated transformation out of the group, has got to be Kill Bison. I enjoy Kill Bison's transformation. I think that's just a few extra steps that really make it pop. So Leozack is next to Death Cobra, and I'm giving his transformation a C+. It's just basic transformation. Not much is happening here. Barely anything is happening at all, and that's the same with Death Cobra. The only difference between Death Cobra and Leozack here is Leozack isn't as much of a shell former as Death Cobra. Death Cobra is literally holding the entire helicopter on his back. This guy's at least got parts displayed in other places, but barely. And these transformation joints for LeoKiser on the sides of Leozack's feet are definitely throwing me off. I don't like them. I don't like the fact that they're there. I don't like the fact that he's got toe tilt, but no other sort of tilt, but then this thing can tilt. I don't know, but you can give your Leozack stilts. You know, that's something you can do with your toy. You can give him stilts. Now he's gonna dance on Broadway. I don't know. Anyway, so when it comes to these 4 of the group, my favorite transformation is got to be GuyHawk and HellBat. They have the more complicated transformations, the more fun transformations, in my opinion. Best vehicle mode out of this group is got to be GuyHawk. Best vehicle mode out of the entire group of them all has got to be GuyHawk. I really just enjoy GuyHawk. And second runner-up is going to be Kill Bison. I like Kill Bison's vehicle mode. I just like the big old anti-aircraft tank thing. I think that's a lot of fun. My final thoughts on the air crew here. I think it's pretty good. I enjoyed all the transformations. I get that we weren't able to get a lot of the more complicated transformations because they gave us all of these guys at the same time, and that's a lot for 1 or 2 people to design. This was a lot of work they had to do, and I'm glad that they managed to accomplish what they managed to accomplish with the time that was given to them to accomplish it in. So, to the designers of the Haslab LeoKiser, Evan, and the other... I'm not going to say your name because I don't want to butcher it. But the designer from Japan who works with Takara Tomy, both of you guys, 2 thumbs up from this blind man. I've appreciated all of the different robots of LeoKiser. I've got 2 more videos to do on this guy. I'm going to talk about the assembly into LeoKiser in the next video, and then in the video after that, I'm going to discuss all of the chest robots. And discuss how each of the chest robots works, and I totally forgot to put LeoKiser's chest robot back on. There you go. I didn't even really need to take it off for the transformation. It just kind of sat there the entire time. Anyway, I've been Blind Prime, and that's been my co-host, Cream the Cat. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. I know it's been a long one, but we had 4 robots to talk about and do some nice size comparisons with, because I really wanted to compare him to Devastator, because they just work well together. Especially when you put them side by side. And I can't wait to show you that video next time. So, catch you next Prime. Until then, bye-bye for now.